Now at 7, millions of dollars in federal funding now frozen.
And that's the hardest part is, can we still be there?
Why the future of several Bay Area groups fighting violence is now in doubt. Plus, it's a parklet predicament, how one business owner inspired by Legos is working around the red tape. And teachers, they gear up for a May Day strike in Oakland, but parents feel caught in the middle once again.
If they're considering doing something as drastic as this, that it is important and something that we should all pay attention to.
And later, more history for the WNBA's newest team. We are courtside in Oakland for the Valkyries' first practice.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. Tonight, local nonprofits that help crime victims and work to prevent violence are now in need of some help themselves. They just found out that the Justice Department is pulling their federal funding. 23 programs across the Bay Area were recently notified that their grants are being pulled, in some cases amounting to millions of dollars. Among them, 2 organizations in Oakland, one that tries to break the cycle of gun violence on the streets, and another that works with ex-cons. Our John Ramos heard from both groups about the devastating impact to their work.
They say all politics is local, but the latest round of federal funding cuts is having a particular impact here in the city of Oakland.
For a lot of nonprofits working in the area of criminal justice, the news last week was not good.
Yeah, so we got word about losing our federal funding last Tuesday. We lost a $2 million grant over 3 years that really supports one of our programs that we're most known for, which is Con the Crossfire.
Dr. Joe Griffin is executive director of a group called Youth Alive, a violence reduction initiative focused on young people in East and West Oakland. The Caught in the Crossfire program sends trained counselors to the actual hospital rooms of people injured in violent confrontations, both to ease the trauma, but also to try to calm a situation that could lead to retaliation on the streets.
And that's the hardest part is, can we still be there? The folks who work here at Youth Alive lead with passion, and they lead with love for communities that they serve, but that they're also from. And so to have this promise broken, I'm going to do everything I can to support my team, and my team's going to do everything they can to be there. But we needed our federal government to be there as well, and right now they're not.
Dr. Griffin says the 3-year grant that was canceled paid for 5 employees, as well as offering assistance to at-risk victims of violence for things like housing, job placement, or help getting back into school. He doesn't know what the loss of the program will be on the streets, but intends to find the money to keep his workers if possible. They haven't been as lucky across town at Impact Justice.
In total, we had to lay off 31 people.
Alex Buzansky created Impact Justice to try to prevent incarceration and help people during and after their release from jail. The organization was forced to shut down its national housing incubator, helping others generate housing for people being released from custody.
Devastating. I mean, if you follow the news, you knew something like this was coming. I think so many people are surprised by the speed and the extent of what has happened, but I can't say that the direction of what has happened came as a surprise.
But the organization is also the lead agency coordinating the bipartisan Prison Rape Elimination Act, approved by Congress and signed by George W. Bush in 2006. The program sends workers into jails and prisons across America at a cost of about $4.5 million. But that ended last week.
And like so many of us who had our grants cut, these aren't speculative. It's not that Congress or the Department of Justice said, next year we're not going to issue an RFP in this area. Next year we're changing our focus area of what we want to do. They literally pulled the projects out from under the feet of the people who were doing the work.
There was no real explanation of why various grants were canceled, just that they didn't align with the current direction of the government, something that Joe Griffin found particularly frustrating.
When these grants go out, they are an initiative that originates in the government. They say that this is the goal that we have as a government. It felt unreal to get that letter. I've never seen anything like it. Right now, this work is a test in daily resilience. This is a test of, what can we do to keep showing up for our community.
The Justice Department cuts won't be the last. More letters are sure to come in every corner of the federal government, all with the idea that the spending is wasteful, even if it was the government's idea in the first place.
The impacted organizations will have 30 days to file an appeal of the decision. Meantime, as President Trump approaches his 100th day in office, he signed 2 executive orders today cracking down on immigration and targeting sanctuary cities. One order calls for federal agencies to publish a list of sanctuary cities that do not cooperate with immigration and customs enforcement. Another strengthens law enforcement's power to, quote, pursue criminals. However, a federal judge in San Francisco recently ruled that the Trump administration cannot withhold or place conditions on federal funds due to a sanctuary city designation. So we spoke to San Francisco City Attorney David Chu today. He defended the sanctuary city policies and then pushed back against the Trump administration's efforts to cut funding.
Sanctuary policies are about promoting public safety, about ensuring cooperation and trust between local law enforcement and our communities. He is trying to illegally withhold billions of dollars of federal funding, as well as commandeer our local law enforcement police officers as his ICE agents, and that is not legal. It's not constitutional.
He goes on to say San Francisco's sanctuary city policies do not interfere with lawful federation or federal immigration enforcement. 3 families have to find a new place to live in Pleasant Hill after a fire broke out in their apartment complex. So our chopper flew over the damage just this afternoon. You can actually see the back of the building charred. Fire officials tell us 1 unit was damaged, but the entire building has been red tagged over concerns about the building's insulation. We heard from a mother who says she was home on a work call when her dog started barking and brought the fire to her attention.
There was about a 2-foot flame in the backyard, kind of starting to make its way to the building, and we got out of there as soon as we could.
She woke up her son, who was resting in another room. Everyone that was inside the building made it out safe. The Red Cross was called to help the families displaced. In Oakland, today, felony charges for 2 teenagers accused of a series of burglaries, including 3 gas stations and 2 7-Elevens. The Alameda County DA's office says all of the smash and grabs took place within hours of each other last Thursday. If convicted, both defendants could serve more than 10 years each in prison. San Jose police have some new tools to solve crimes. The department showed off its new real-time intelligence center this afternoon. SJPD will be able to connect live to traffic cameras throughout the city and then feed that information back to officers on the ground. The center is starting with 6 to 7 analysts. The goal is to have it staffed 24 hours a day. San Francisco Sheriff's Department will now once again use ankle monitors to track defendants out on bail awaiting trial. So it comes after a federal appeals court overturned a lower court's ruling against warrantless searches. The searches are a condition of a defendant's pretrial release, but critics argue they're a violation of privacy. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals decided they were reasonable safety measures. 98 people are currently participating in the program. The San Francisco Sheriff, Paul Miyamoto, defended the use of electronic monitoring and warrantless searches, calling them essential to public safety.
We want to give defendants an opportunity to receive services in the community that provide them with a chance to succeed while awaiting resolution of their case. And the bottom line, we want to make sure everybody is safe when we do so.
Ankle monitoring can allow for less crowded jails, but others question their effectiveness. A 2022 report found that 60% of participants violated the terms of their release. Remember the rise of parklets, the little outdoor dining areas on the street that took off during COVID? Well, more than 1,000 of them were sprinkled across the city at the height of the pandemic. Now, only about 300 remain. But a new approach inspired by Lego could soon spark a revival. Kara St. Cyr explains.
Hi, how can I help you today?
Leia Sabato's coffee shop, Excelsior Coffee, was almost perfect.
All in the wrist.
It just needed one thing, an updated parklet.
When we were looking at updating it to today's laws, That's when we realized it was going to be $60,000. It was probably not going to happen.
But she still got what she wanted for $375 a month. Leia is the guinea pig in SF New Deal's Building Blocks project, which aims to give small business owners access to parklets for a fraction of the cost. Simon Bertrang, the executive director, says businesses only pay a monthly fee.
So in the pandemic era, people could put them up for $10,000 to $20,000. There are parklets throughout the city that have costed upwards of $100,000.
Parklet use exploded during the pandemic.
There were no fees, and there were very few regulations.
But new regulations made upkeep and construction costly. Of the 1,000 parklets that popped up in 2020, only 327 of them are in compliance. Bertrang is trying to boost that number.
The selling point for the business owners is that we become the experts in the compliance issues and how to meet ADA codes, how to meet the fire code.
Leia will keep an eye out for maintenance issues.
So, here it is.
But most of the responsibility falls on the program. An easy trade-off, she says.
It gives us the forward thinking to hopefully extend our hours, expand our menu. And then, we throw community parties and block parties on the street. So the cool thing is it's so versatile that I think we could, and elevated that I feel like we can use it as a stage too.
Leia's parklet is the building block of a larger goal, bringing back community.
Although it is ours, it still serves as a public parklet.
While her parklet might be the first, she definitely won't be the last.
SFMTA says more than 200 new parklets are already working toward approval. All right, coming up, parents and educators alike crying May Day in the East Bay. The latest on another teacher's strike brewing in Oakland. Plus, from runners-up last year to national champs, one local middle school shows off their science to get redemption.
After a cool, unsettled, rather showery weekend, we warmed back up to almost exactly normal temperatures for late April across the Bay Area today. We're going to warm up a bit more away from the water tomorrow and Wednesday, but then down the other side of the roller coaster. Details coming up at First Alert Weather.
Some students in Oakland could be without their teachers this Thursday. The Oakland Education Association, which represents about 3,000 public school educators, confirmed its members voted to authorize a one-day strike May 1st. So it follows a week of discord in the district that saw the school board vote to remove Superintendent Kyla Johnson-Trammell at the end of the school year. The union says the district is manufacturing its budget crisis to justify firing teachers. While some school administrators allege they've been threatened by union leadership. Oakland parents feel caught in the middle.
OUSD should be ashamed of creating a school environment where kids can't count on school taking place. My kids they're 6th grader and 9th grader now, and they don't believe that school will be there for them from one week to the next because you never know when there's going to be a strike.
OUSD says it's tried to resolve the union's questions and is committed to transparency. If a strike happens on Thursday, it would be the 4th by OUSD teachers since 2019. Well, a team of students from Fremont's Hopkins Middle School showed off their science skills and took home first place in the National Science Bowl.
With a final score of 144 to 42, that means Hopkins Middle School, you are our 2025 National Science Bowl Middle School champions.
Ooh, check out that score. All right, they won by more than 100 points. Can you see the score? Second place went to Fort Settlement Middle School in Texas. Hopkins came in second last year. They didn't just get the title and the trophy. They're going to be bringing home $5,000 for their math and science department. How cool is that? Look at those kids. I mean, they must have been so excited when they got their name announced.
I got to look into what exactly they were doing that got them.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out.
102-point victory. That's running up the score a little bit.
That's very cool.
Hopefully the Dubs win by that much tonight.
Yep. Okay, that too.
We'll see.
But congratulations.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. And I imagine the future's pretty bright for those kids.
Oh, you think?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Let's take a look what's happening weather-wise around here, and we'll talk our own little science. And we're talking about clear skies over most of the Bay Area for the moment. However, we are going to see the fog pushing back in later on tonight. This is the current satellite perspective, which just shows the city lights visible, but also that ghostly little finger of fog trying to approach the coast of the North Bay, some of it peeking through the Golden Gate as well. It's not going to have too much success infiltrating the inland valleys, but it was just nice to see more sunshine overhead today, and it did have an impact on our temperatures, resulting in highs close to what's normal for this time of year. Right now, we're still seeing those clear skies overhead as we look out from the Mark Hopkins Hotel. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s in San Francisco and Oakland. There's that onshore influence, which kind of belies the blue skies we see in the background. Low 60s now in San Jose and Santa Rosa, cooling off pretty quickly with 64 in Livermore, but still holding on to 70 degrees right now in Concord. You were the warm spot this afternoon. You'll be one of the warmer locations tomorrow. We are going to see the fog trying to move back out as we head through tonight. Here's a look at Futurecast, and it shows the fog really just hanging out the coast and near the Golden Gate past midnight, then making more of a push into the North Bay valleys in the early hours of Tuesday morning, but not much fog showing up east of the Oakland Hills or in the Santa Clara Valley. So it's really just the North Bay and along the coast where that fog is going to slow down the warm up for the first few hours of the morning. Temperatures are going to start off pretty close to normal, maybe a degree or two below average, but everybody in the mid to upper 40s for wake up temperatures on Tuesday. And then we warm up. High temperatures are going to end up near average in San Francisco and along the coast, upper 50s and low 60s, with temperatures inland about 4 to 6 degrees above normal, into the mid to upper 70s for the North Bay. The warmest spots east of the Oakland Hills at 80 degrees in Concord and Livermore, up to 81 in Fairfield and 82 degrees around Antioch and Brentwood. Maybe not quite that warm for the Santa Clara Valley, but the same 4 to 6 degree departure from average on the positive side in the mid to upper 70s to around 80 degrees. It's not going to last forever. Very similar temperatures in store for us on Wednesday, and then we start to cool down Thursday and Friday, and the big picture weather pattern shows the return of shower chances as we head into the first weekend in May. We're still at the time frame we're evaluating the various possibilities, and a good way to do that is look at the long-range forecast models side by side. And they agree that there's a decent chance of showers as we head into the weekend. They disagree on the specifics. European forecast model brings that best chance of rain in right around sunrise Saturday morning, while the American forecast model holds it off by about another 6 to 12 hours, really bringing the best chance of showers in Saturday afternoon. And they both do get back into agreement that some lingering showers will be possible on Sunday, but they're not going to be overly likely. It looks like Sunday would be the drier and warmer half of the weekend. It does look like a little more snow is going to try to accumulate in the Sierra, but the various resorts are going to be closed as we head into the first weekend in May. Hopefully it's going to wash some more pollen out of the atmosphere, but we're going to be into the medium-high category for the next few days before maybe we drop one category on Friday. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast, and we have temperatures that aren't going to change a lot along the coast, but there is a cool down in store, maybe by 5 degrees or so as we hit that first half of the weekend, with the chance of showers on Saturday, sending coastal temperatures down to only the mid-50s for highs. A similar cool down in store around the Bay from around 70 tomorrow and Wednesday to barely above 60 by Friday and Saturday, but we bounce back by the beginning of the first full week of May. And temperatures inland, you will see the biggest swings up and down on the temperature roller coaster from around 80 tomorrow and Wednesday, only the mid-60s on Saturday, but you should be back to near normal by early next week. Jules?
All right, we'll take it. Thanks so much, Paul. Coming up, we hit the hardwood as the Valkyries hold their first ever practice in franchise history. Okay, the WNBA's newest franchise opens preseason next week, and yesterday the Golden State Valkyries held their first ever practice in Oakland. Our Matt Lively was courtside to see it all.
This is obviously a different experience than any other training camp too, since it's a brand new team. We're all starting from ground zero.
It was sort of like the first day of school for Golden State, fully equipped with unique introductions.
The coaches kind of did a little dance to, get the jitters out, because some people were saying that they were nervous, which is normal, it's the first day of camp.
Ready with a lot of energy.
I don't know how much of ice-breaking that is, but it kind of just settles the mood, you know what I'm saying? Kind of make everybody just relax.
The Valkyries have the chance to set the identity for not just one team, but the entire franchise.
We know what we want our identity to be, and it's killers. Like, we want to be gritty, we want to be relentless, we want to be the ones diving on the floor for loose balls.
Head coach Natalie Nakase will be grading and judging as she shapes the inaugural roster.
They know they're here to earn their spot. Yeah. And so we made that clear. Like, we have no starters right now, but, you guys get to earn it.
As the coaching staff looks to facilitate on-court chemistry, the players will look to bond off of it as well.
The first thing I want to do is take them to the island. What is the? Absolutely. We going to Alcatraz for sure as a team. We got to do that one.
Go at night.
I don't know about that. Now you're trying to set me up. I don't know about that. I'm not trying to have nightmares. I'm trying to have a little fun and learn a little something.
The Valkyries will continue to practice right up until their first preseason game May 6th against the Sparks at Chase Center.
And don't forget, CBS News Bay Area is the home of the Valkyries. More than 30 games will air on KPIX and Pix Plus. Coming up, San Francisco's iconic Roxie Theater tries to buy itself. We'll explain after the break. A labor of love in San Francisco's Mission District. A nonprofit is trying to make sure the Roxie Theater stays there forever. So the group wants to buy the building that has housed the Roxie for more than a century. They need $7 million to make it happen. They're just $1.5 million away. So now they're asking for donations. The Roxie is one of the oldest continuously operating theaters in the country.
It's a gem, it's a landmark. Well, first of all, we've been here 110 years, so it's just the physical embodiment of this place has been here since the Mission grew and developed into what we know it is today.
The group already has a deal in place with the current owners, so raising money is the final step. Thanks so much for watching. The news continues at 8 on Pix Plus or 44 Cable 12. See you right back here at 11. Have a good one.